Hey everybody! Hello, hello! Welcome to, I think it's the last day of February today, so I'm just squeezing in just under the radar. Yeah, so we've been talking about powerful dating this month, and I hope that you've understood that dating is an inner game. If you're playing it as an outer game, you're just going to attract someone who probably isn't going to be a fulfilling partner for the long run. I mean, it depends on what you're going for. So, um, yeah, it's great to be healthy and look hot and all those things. And we've been taught that you just assess for that. Come here. We adopted a dog, so come here, Brownie. He's trying to get in my lap. Come here, buddy. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's a no. um, yeah, we've been trained that you just assess for feeling in love and that that's all you need. And as long as they look hot and they bring you status and these external things are met, then it'll be fine. But that's total bullshit. And the reason is because what we're expecting from our relationships today has fundamentally changed than at any other point in human history. So it doesn't work to just assess for these things. You know, it used to be for so long was a business arrangement. And now it's really not like that. So once you found your person and you've been together, you need to keep dating your wife. I cannot tell you. Here he is. Now the dog's in my lap. So the reason I wanted to make a video about this is because I cannot tell you how many men I've worked with who basically forgot to do this as the years and decades went by. And I get it. Look, in my relationships, even after just a few months go by, I'm like wearing the same pair of sweats every single day. It's tough when you work from home and you don't want to wear pants. But so it's just inevitable. That's how the human brain works. You know, like if you've ever put a post-it note up on the mirror or on the fridge, after a while you don't see it anymore. You have to change things up in order to truly see them. Our brain just marks them as there, and just then we don't really notice things anymore. And so that's going to happen in your relationship too. But as a man, the reason you want to keep dating your wife, there are some very good reasons to keep dating your wife. And one is so you don't spend 10, 20, or even longer years in a sexless marriage. And two is it's a real gift to her. Look, here's the thing. And nobody talks about this, but this is what's really going on. Women have been taught, myself included, that being female is shameful. You know, Madonna said this in the 90s in her songs, and it's still so true today. I mean, the other day I heard Bill Maher insult a man by making fun of the man, assuming that he was on his period. You know, like calling the man a woman as if being a woman is shameful and as if having a period is shameful, right? So this is still at play. We've been taught that anything to do with the feminine is shameful, and that includes relaxing, surrendering, receiving, being in our pleasure, being in our bodies. We've been taught that in order to be respected and, you know, and to make our way in the world, we need to be more like a man. And so when you date your wife, you help her remember the gifts of having a female body and that she can bring this beautiful grace and joy and beauty of the feminine uh, to her life for her own radiance and fulfillment and to your relationship for the benefit of both of you. Okay, so let's go into some more details here. I'm looking at my notes. So, what are some ways that you can date your wife? Well, you know, honestly, when I read these to you, you're going to be like, oh, right. It's not rocket science. It just requires a reorientation of what you focus on in your day-to-day life with her. And this is one of the gifts of Tantra, is that Tantra is so much about our intention and where we put our focus and what we do with our energy, right? So it's just all these basic things we need to be doing anyway. Okay, someone's trying to call me. I'm going to decline that. So the first thing is flirt with your wife every day. Here's the rub though. Don't flirt with her with the underlying pressure of wanting it to lead to sex. I know, this might seem excruciating if you're already sex starved, but you need to flirt with her just for the joy of that energy itself. For the joy of sharing a moment with her, like that's playful, that's lighthearted, that's, you know, focusing on beauty and fun between the two of you. So, how do you flirt with her? Well, how did you flirt with her when you first started dating? And please write in the comments because I want to hear what were your favorite ways to flirt with your partner when you first met her? Another practice is to look at her with new eyes. You know, this book I recommend to so many of my clients, Open Her by Karen Brody. It's all about tantric practices. It's so fucking good. But one of the things that I practiced for years and years in when I lived in tantric community was transfiguration. So this means looking with new eyes. This means taking a moment, put down whatever you're doing, and really look at her and be like, oh, look at her with the eyes of a poet, the eyes of an artist. Look at her as if you've never seen her before. You're like, wow, who are you? Like really look, like who is this woman? Who is she? And look at, just take her in. So transfigure her. Even take her hand and invite her to sit down with you on the floor, on the couch, on the bed, and say, just look at me, look at my eyes, even for 2 minutes, right? You as a man can lead these things, like interrupt the usual things that are going on and say, okay, we're going to take a moment and really look at each other, left eye to left eye. Another thing you can do to flirt with your wife is, you know, when you're in the kitchen or when you're sitting on the couch together, play with her hair. I mean, my man, there's a plant right here. My man is always like reaching over and messing with my hair because I just melt. I fucking love that. So what does she love for you to do? Scott says she loves it when I tell her all the ways I love and adore her. Oh, that sounds so good. Yeah, Chris, left eye to left eye. If you try to look at both eyes at once, your eyes will go back and forth in an agitated way and it just ruins the moment. And all the teachings are like left eye to left eye because it's supposed to be more receptive. Also, I have an eye condition that affects my right eye, so it's more comfortable for me to do left eye to left eye. Yeah, so that's why. You can do right eye to right eye though if you want. But it's way easier to just do left to left. And make sure you're relaxed, blinking normally. I mean, transfiguration is a whole practice. Maybe I'll do a month on it. I haven't taught it in a while. Foot massage, yeah. This is how you can flirt with your wife. I know my man, well, I don't know if maybe I shouldn't tell you that yet. I'm going to ask him if I can tell you that before I say it. Okay, another way, oh, and if she's standing cooking dinner, do you come up behind her and kiss her neck? Is there something else that you can do? Run your fingers down her body in a certain way, like scratch her back that she just loves, or give her compliments? You're welcome, Chris. So think about it. Just take a moment right now and write down, how do you want to flirt with your wife? And do it regularly so that you're reminding her to be present in her body so that you can play. So reminding her that you adore her. Oh yeah, complimenting her is in there too. And if she brushes off your compliments and doesn't receive them, take her arm and say, hang on, babe. Listen, I want you to really take this in. Breathe. Look at me. You're amazing. You are such a badass. And be specific. Right? Or I can't get enough of the sparkle in your eyes. Or you look incredible today. You're radiant. I can't take my eyes off you. Maiko says beard scratch on the back of the neck. That sounds good. Now, another move, pro move, is tell her you're taking her out to dinner. Pick a place, plan the time, tell her to be ready, and take her. Look, this may be overbearing. I don't know. I practice polarity with my man, and I love it. If your woman hates this, then collaborate with her. But try to take the lead and say, I want to take you to dinner. Do you want to go here or here? And does this time work? Right? And then make the reservation, but I like it when my man just does it and I don't have to think about it. I don't have to make any decisions. I don't have to decide that we're even doing it. He just surprises me. And I have to tell you, it was so special. Like going somewhere new, I put on a dress. I can never put on dresses anymore. And he was like, "Wow, you look stunning." And we walk in, and there's these high ceilings and velvet curtains and white tablecloths, right? And it was new. And we saw each other in a new way. We got new cocktails. It was just fun to be like out. So maybe your partner doesn't like that. So take her for a new hike. Going on a new hike is spectacular. Like maybe there's a new vista, a new picnic spot. Um, so now let's zoom in on a few more little things. Well, before I leave that topic, so what are some gestures you can do? Some places you can take her? I don't know. Maybe you'll say, "I booked you a mani pedi today," um, or "I booked us a couples massage. We're going together," right? Be creative. Maybe like in San Francisco, there's a Russian bathhouse. I forget the name right now, but it's really lovely to go for an evening together there. There's like a sauna, hot tub, cold plunge. There's different levels. Really fun. So, but again, you book it, you plan it, you invite her to go with you. These are how you date your wife. Um, Sometimes my man will come and say, "All right, I want us to block off 3 hours on this evening, and we're going to play some games in the bedroom together." And then he'll lead us through a whole ritual, a whole series of connection games, sensual games. It's not about like going straight for sex. But eventually, after we play connection games and sensual games, which I teach my couples all the time, and they freaking love them. One's called the yes, no, maybe game. Another's called what can I offer you now. They're super simple, but they work. After you play that for 20 minutes, she'll probably be like begging you to to have sex, to make love. Okay, let's focus on some little things. So one is when you hug your wife, how long do you hug her? Do you ground your feet into the earth, standing powerfully like a tree, and are you like, and you don't let her go for 10, 12 seconds? This is how long it takes for oxytocin to be released. So it's a pro move to do a long hug and breathe with her and just be like, "Relax, babe, I got this." How do you kiss her? Yeah, so many couples complain about they're in the like peck on the cheek stage. So do you like take her in your arms and maybe snake your hand up the back of her head and hold her there and just kiss her passionately on the lips for a few minutes? Again, if not all women like being touched here, I love it, but not all do. So figure out whether she likes that or not. How often in a day do you pause, put down what you're doing, like your phone, your computer, your book, your food, whatever, and just give her your full attention? Whatever's going on for her, you say, "Oh, tell me more." This was in my TED Talk. Yeah, the three magic words: tell me more. This is what women are dying to hear from their men usually. And I know it goes both ways, right? Because so many men tell me that their partner is just constantly, their female partner is constantly critical, resistant to inner work, only talks about shallow things, complains, or puts up walls. Yes, I know that it goes both ways. And it's less common that way. More common that women experience their man being defensive and not saying, "Tell me more." So that, I mean, honestly, relating to your woman by giving her your full presence and whatever she's bringing up, saying, "Tell me more, babe." Even when you're like, "Oh, I want to fix this. I want to give advice. Oh, this isn't right. She's not understanding. If she just thought of it my way." Oh, sorry. Sorry, Brownie. Oh, dog's name is Brownie. Um, Even if you're feeling all that agitation in you, just say, "Tell me more." That is flirting with your woman. That is dating your woman. Do you buy her flowers for no reason at all? What are her favorite flowers? Mine are roses and lilies, by the way. Lilies smell so good, but they're toxic to dogs and cats. Um, and you know what's fun with roses? You can then Of course, when they start to wilt, take the petals and make rose syrup that you can put in cocktails or in sparkling water. There's just recipes online. You just boil the rose petals with some sugar and stuff. Anyway, that's that's a little apothecary aside. Um, oh, do you ever put on music and dance together in the house? Do you play games in bed? Do you even just lie on the floor and stretch together? Like that's getting into your body. It's sensual. It's bringing in a little bit of the can be erotic. Do you ever just reach over to her and go like that? Like the idea of flirting is you give her a little bit like a tease, and then you're like, oh, that's all for now. I gotta go to work, and she's like, oh, come back. So different from the needy kind of wet blanket energy of like, can we have sex now? So let's see. Scott says, kiss her with my hand under her hair on her occiput, pulling her in. That sounds lovely. Yeah, see, it's so fun, right? It's so much fun to date your wife. Another thing, oh, here is the classic statement about dating your wife, and then we'll bring it to a close. Esther Perel, right, the famous therapist who talks about the erotic, she says that foreplay begins as soon as sex ends. Foreplay begins as soon as sex ends. And I love this, and I also have caveats because I think sometimes people might take that to mean, oh, every interaction I have with my partner needs to be leading to the next sex act. Like it's all foreplay, which means it's all goal oriented. So do not take it that way. That will kill the passion and the sizzle. What she's talking about is that your whole life, your whole day to day can be erotic. Like take the erotic out of just the penis and vagina penetration moment. And how can you awaken that frisson of the erotic in her at any moment? And just for the joy of that energy itself, again, without it needing to lead somewhere. And when you do that, in that way, then she will likely start to turn toward you and say, can we go in the bedroom now? All right. Any last questions, comments before I sign off? All right. Well, thank you all for being here. And I don't know what the theme is going to be for March yet. So if you have any desired themes, put them in the comments. And I believe the first video for March is going to be not next week, but the week after. Next week, I think I'm doing something special. Hey, Scott. Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for your comments. I love doing these videos. And I just had some cacao, so I'm like kind of high right now. Cacao always gives me a little like zing. So it's nice on this rainy, rainy afternoon. All right, have a beautiful rest of your Thursday. Go date your wife. Tell me what you did. Tell me how it goes. And I'll see you next time. Bye.